Well, let's talk a little bit about. You mentioned that you had been at it for 8 years plus 16 years on the pro tour for 8 years, with even your fellow competitors like relieved that you finally got your one. Talk a little bit about you went on to win more, and as you win more, maybe talk about the target that gets put on your back by your fellow competitors, and maybe some of the fun that you've had being the one that they're chasing.
So I like to lead from the front. I was quoted, when I wrote my book, there was a famous journalist out of Australia, a surfing journalist called Derek Hind, and he suggested or quoted that I had the compassion of a tiger shark. Which, what he was alluding to was the fact that when I did get into the lead, I would stick the knife through the heart and twist it. Like I had very little compassion as a competitor. I just loved to see everyone else lose, and I loved to win. And my love of winning was way stronger than ever my fear of failure or fear of losing. So that's what drove me. Whenever my back was up against the wall, whenever the odds were against me, I would think about how hard I'd trained, how much I'd invested into this particular event, or how much I desperately wanted it. And I would allow that to fuel my fire, to pick myself back up and actually instill the belief in me that I can achieve this. Instead of thinking, oh, time's running out and my competitor's really good. And all that's doing is actually presenting myself with excuses and reasons and stories as to why I can't win. So as I became more dominant, more consistent, world title number 2, world title number 3, world title number 4, my competitors started getting pretty pissed off. They started getting pretty disappointed. They started getting frustrated. They started hugging me and congratulating me and sticking a knife in my back at exactly the same time. Like, congratulations, how am I going to beat you? And what I learnt to do was, instead of taking that personally, because I knew it was more of a professional vindictive behaviour, there was nothing personal about it. They just wanted to win as much as I did, but I was just willing to work harder and I wanted it more. I learnt to turn the target that was on my back and I turned it into a mirror. So what I was essentially doing is, when I walked down the beach knowing that I'm just getting razzed on, I would just pretend that I had a mirror and I said, that's your stuff, it's not mine. And it just gave me that sense of self. Instead of allowing people outside of me to either judge me or criticize me or determine who I am or how I achieve or what I can do, I eliminated that by turning that target into a mirror and just going out and doing my thing and staying focused on my game plan. And in saying that, always making sure that I had someone on the beach that was there to support me. I always traveled with someone that was away from the tour, someone who was supportive and encouraging and honest, someone who was there just solely to support me and be in my corner. Because it's hard coming out of the water having beaten somebody time and time again and them having to forgive you. Which, it made it tough. But I was once there too. I got beaten by Lisa Anderson year after year after year. So it was very satisfying when I finally came back and beat Lisa.
And so, going into 2003, winning your final world title.
Well, my 6th one.
Your 6th world title.
6 consecutive world title.
Yeah, those were 6 in a row, folks. I am telling you that I made this comment the other day in the most endearing fashion, but the surfing women's side was boring for a while because it was like, who won? Oh, Layne Beachley won again. Who won? Oh, Layne won again and again and again. And that was just an incredible run of a world champion. So that 6 in a row is just unprecedented. Unprecedented.
Yeah.
And so
it's the one thing that King Kelly couldn't do, right?
Right.
It's the only way I can outdo Kelly Slater is to win 6 in a row. So that's the one record I'm still holding on to.
And that'll stand for a while, I'm sure.
Well, Stephanie Gilmore just won her 6th world title 2 years ago, and she won it at exactly the same age that I won my first one. So I have no doubt she'll beat my 7. Unless Carissa Moore does something about that.
She might help you out.
She might.